extent do you think any of these changes might make the board a better working body?
Oh, that's the big question, Casey. You know that. We've been watching, you know, you've been here a long time. I've been here 30 years, watching these different boards of supervisors and how they work together and don't work together. And I don't, you know, until you get them in there, I don't know. You know, John McCown's been on the city council. I haven't got to see him work within the city council. You've probably seen it more than I have. Does he work well?
He gets mixed reviews, you know.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Although generally, I think the city council actually is doing pretty well.
Oh, city council
lately
is doing very well. They don't have as many big issues either, or as many employees. So,
right.
What I find with the supervisors, basically, what I've seen is that there's such a political issue. There's such a political position in that because we're such a small county, we have more direct access to our supervisors and input than I think your bigger cities and counties do. I mean, we have less than 90,000 people in the county. And you know for a fact, like I know, that if you have something on the agenda and you really want to get it pushed through or want it changed, if you show up with 100 people and you pack that supervisor's chambers, something's going to go your way. Because it's a political issue, and those people know they have to get elected in 4 years.
Yeah.
And so I think we have a much better opportunity in Mendocino County to have good input into our supervisors, but it also has the other side of it is that it's hard to get political will to stick with something that they might think is right.
Yeah. And I think, you know, frankly, I think it also reflects right up the chain to Washington. I mean, if you look at, you know, since say 1994 with the Newt Gingrich group that came in and completely polarized, you know, Congress for the future. It's been that way ever since for the next 14 years. And I think that went up into the state legislatures. I think it's reflected there, and I think it's reflected right down to the county where people feel they need to be, you know, here's my stand and I'm sticking with it, and you know, I'm disagreeing with you and I don't like you, and it's become personal. You know,
it has become personal,
and it never used to be that way. When I started covering county here back in '91, it was never, I mean, they would disagree. The supervisors would certainly have disagreements.
Right.
You know, I mean, you had Norm Duvall and Frank McMichael and Jim Eddy and Marilyn Butcher and Seiji Sugawara and people like that. And they would have serious disagreements. But at the end of the day, they would agree to disagree. They would maybe come to some compromise. They would, now it's like, oh, if David Colfax wants it, Mike Delbar's against it. You know, I mean, it's gotten, there's some sort of ingrained thing now that you can't, you know, you're not allowed to agree with that guy over there. Although, you know, clearly they have a lot of 5-0 votes on, you know, random stuff. But, you know, on issues that people really get controversial, you know, they do tend to take it personally now, which I think is getting a little out of hand.
It is getting a little out of hand, and it's not helping us move the county forward.
Yeah.
And I mean, the other part of it that's really driving me crazy is I just happened to pick up an old grapevine, Mendocino grapevine from 1984. It's out in the car, actually. And the issues that the supervisors are dealing with in '84 are just almost the same that we're dealing with now. You know, we're still trying to work out the general plan. We're still trying to figure out what the county is supposed to look like. And I don't know if it's the structure that's not working of doing it. This general plan and the Ukiah Valley area plan have been going on for much too long. Much too long. And I don't know if it's because people are too afraid to try to stand up and take a position on and hold it, or is the process not working? I mean, to go to the general plan, the folks in Anderson Valley got together. We had 3 sessions of sitting down with the planning team over the last 3 years. When they finally came out with the draft for the Anderson Valley, it looked like nothing from the input that had been given. I don't know if you've heard about what's been going on over there, but a small group got together and pulled the community members together to do a revision for themselves. Now they sent that over to the planning team. But it was the community itself getting together saying, this is nothing, this looks like nothing that we told you to do. And so we've created our own and come back with it. It takes you back to where we had our CACs, community, what they call advisory councils, or committees back in 1980, 78, 79, before the 80 revise. And that's what ended up happening, because what the planning team came out with was nothing close to what the input they had taken.
And the people in Ukiah, I've heard say the same thing, where they would, you know, they have the boards and they write the stuff down, and what's your idea? Oh, well, let's write that down. And then afterwards, they just took it all and threw it in the garbage. I mean, basically, that's what the county planning team did. I mean, they weren't interested. I mean, oh yeah, we want to hear your views, but we have our idea. We know what we're going to do. I mean, that's the impression a lot of people from those Ukiah sessions got. That's the
impression a lot of us in Anderson Valley got. And whether did they just chuck it, or was it that they're outside consultants and they don't hear it?
Well, but then not all those people were outside consultants.
That's true. That's
true. The planning team were county employees. What's her name?
Pamela Townsend.
That now works for the city of Ukiah. I mean, she was part of that. And
but they had this outside agency that was running it somehow. The outside consultant that came in to either set up how it was structured.
Well,
But I don't know, but I just know that there's a lot of these issues that have been on the table for years, and we just keep churning them over and not moving much forward on them. And I don't know how you break it down. Maybe it takes a dynamic leader. Maybe it takes a dynamic group of people getting in to do it.
Yeah, yeah. The budget.
The budget.
Well, you know, one of the things I want to talk about in terms of, you got the state budget, but I think, you know, one of the things that's not getting talked about in this race so far is the idea that the economy is about to take a huge dive. Now, Mendocino County normally